In this video, we're going to talk about the iREAL Animated Ocean Water System by the Philosopher and how to get a ball to float in it. Keep watching to find out how. Before we begin, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Also, if you have a suggestion or a recommendation, or there's something you want to learn about, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to do a tutorial for you. And today we're going to talk about a little something with the iREAL Animated Ocean Water System by the Philosopher. Let me start off by saying that this is not a sponsored post. However, Philosopher, if you happen to be watching this, my Gmail is in the description below, and I would be more than happy to work out some kind of arrangement where I could promote your products. Do give me an email and maybe we can work something out. That said, for the rest of you, so I discovered a little bit of something. If you haven't already watched yet, I recently did a 15-second animation using the Animated Ocean Water System, and in it I had a bottle that floated in the water. This is not a tutorial on how to use the ocean water system. There already is one out there. The link to that is in the description below, as well as the link to the item in Daz that you're looking at right now. So why don't I go ahead and get started. I'm sure y'all don't really want to hear me talking about this all day. So I've already pulled up the Animated Ocean Water System. I'm using it in the Smart Content. I'm going to click on Environments. I'm going to go ahead and select the rolling ocean. So I'm going to add this to Animate to. Go ahead and put in the rolling ocean. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Let's go ahead and drop in our primitive, specifically a sphere. I've set it to 1 foot in diameter because we don't really need it that big. 12 segments, 24 sides. And there it is in the water. I'm going to go ahead, make sure I have my universal tool pulled up for the moment. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit and get it about halfway in the water. And get it, and this can be set later on, so whatever you have it now, you know, you're not permanently set with that. You can adjust it later for to adjust the buoyancy that you want. And just for the purposes of being able to see, I'm going to go ahead. You don't have to do this. This is just more for visual than anything, but I'm going to go ahead and surface it with something. Alright. And so I'm going to put that out of the way because I'm not going to need it anymore. Now here's where the fun begins. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on that and I'm going to select Wireframe. This is going to enable me to see the polygons or the squaregons or whatever they're called at this point. It's going to allow me to see the wireframe. I just call it what it is. I'm going to come up here to the toolbar and I'm going to select the geometry. Alright, right click. I'm going to make sure I have Real Ocean, the top level of his ocean water system. I'm going to have it specifically selected. Right click, selection type, make sure polygon selection is selected. Under selection mode, I'm going to start off with Marquee Selection. Now, a little something to note here. In my experimentation, I have found if you select too small, then the ball does not have, or whatever object you're using, doesn't have enough room, and it gives kind of a strange hitting a wall effect. So when you do what I'm about to do next, you want to make sure you give enough room that your object has enough to float without hitting an invisible wall or giving that look, but not too big. I've found out that if you select too much, then it gets kind of jittery, and I'm not sure the reason why for that. So I'm going to select, and there we go. Now, I'm one of those people, I like order in my chaos, so I'm going to select, right click, selection mode, drag selection. This will allow me to select individual. Hold down the control key because I don't want to lose what I've selected so far.
Now I'm going to go ahead and run my test. Just as an FYI, something I've learned over a period of time I've done this, just to avoid any difficulties. You'll notice right here my little time code, and it's also, you can see it in timeline, you can also see it in Keymate. Anytime you make adjustments, anytime, you want to make sure that your little thingy there is set to 0, otherwise it can get a little crazy. And so basically what I'm looking for, obviously my object is not moving yet, we're going to get there, but I'm kind of looking to see, and so as I can see right there already, so I'm going to go ahead, I want to make sure that anywhere that my object goes, it is not going to find a wall. So I'll go ahead, I'm using the Alt key, drag selection, I'm using the Alt to click away those. You know, I think I want to add one more, so I'm going to press Control. I'm going to drag, and I think I'm going to add one more row just to be on the safe side. Again, you don't want to add too much, but you want to have enough for a little buffer. Alright, so I'm going to drag back and forth. I'm going to make absolute sure it seems to be within the boundaries. Alright, I think I'm good. Now, once you're satisfied with the surface area, right click. It doesn't have to be right on the area, just, you know, as long as you have the correct surface selected. I'm going to come down to Geometry Assignment. And here's where the magic happens. Create rigid follow node from selected. I'm going to select that. You can call it anything you want to. I like to call it point of contact. Alright, and point of contact. So what has effectively happened here is I created a surface node. Now I'm going to take my sphere onto my new node, and I'm going to drop it in. So the new node is now the parent object of the object. So this way it's a child of the surface that I want it to recognize. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and select it because I want to see my surface again. Now that it's attached, you see that it is moving around. And look right over there. That is just a little bit too close for my comfort. So I'm going to, again, I'm going to use my Marquee Selection. I'm going to press Control, and I'm going to select a little more. So we're extending the bounding box just a bit. For detail, I'm going to do drag selection. That's so I can click and select these individually. Again, I'm going to test it out. And it looks like we have a winner. Alright, come back over here, select the texture shaded. I'm going to drag this back around. Clicking on the sphere and Control F, that's going to center on the sphere. I can back it out just a little. Focus on it. And I'm going to go ahead and run my animation. Let's see how it looks. Beautiful. There you have it, folks. Ball floating in ocean water.